8:45 now, some business news and some slightly better news from the high street, I think, as well. Dominic's here.
Yes, thanks. And a simpler tale of landlords chasing money and tenants who can't pay. The outdoor goods chain Black's Leisure has managed to restructure its debts in a move it says will safeguard more than 4,000 jobs. Black's operates not just the outdoor gear stores of the same name, but also Millet's and O'Neill. It's struggled in the recession, posting losses, and its banks say they wouldn't carry on lending it money unless it closed 101 of its least profitable stores. The trouble is, in many cases, the leases had years left on them to run. Blacks seem to be stuck. So what did they do? Andrew Teacher of the British Property Federation, which represents landlords, joins us now. Andrew, what did they do? What was the deal?
Well, basically what's happened is that the landlords have agreed to rip up the leases on 101 stores. They've taken 6 months' rent as essentially a payoff, and Blacks have agreed to cover the empty rates. So what this shows really is the landlords have been willing to be a lot more flexible and really do what they can to save 4,000 jobs.
But why would they do that? Because if I was running a business and I saw that a quarter of it was suffering, and I wanted to get out of the financial liabilities of that quarter that was suffering, I'd run at it with every opportunity. So isn't the problem that this may happen again? You've given the opportunity and everyone will go for it.
Well, what's happened, I mean, they've essentially signed a CVA, and that's a company voluntary agreement. And what that means is the creditors agree to take a little bit less, or a lot less, than what they were owed. And we've seen this happen before with Focus DIY and with JJB Sports earlier in the year. And there is a real concern among landlords that other companies may just use these as excuses to get out of stores that aren't performing and really just try and turn their business around when, you know, it could be poor management, it could be poor products that have got them into that mess. And there's a feeling really that the landlords shouldn't be the only ones to bear the pain. I think, you know, the property industry doesn't have a problem with being flexible. It doesn't have a problem with doing what it can to support jobs. But in this case, the only people that have borne any kind of hit have been the landlords.
Yeah, but you're saying that they're still getting 6 months' rent, aren't they? So is there quite a clever calculation here being made that the recession's coming to an end, the economy's improving, they'll probably find another tenant in 6 months anyway, and they've got guaranteed money on the table?
Well, I mean, that depends where the stores are placed. I mean, what we've seen from the IPD index, that's the Investment Property Data Bank, the people that measure the performance of property, they're showing that things are starting to turn around, that capital values, the values of actual buildings are going up. But what they also show is that the average existing lease, the contract to rent the properties in retail, is about 12 years. So multiply that by 101 years, multiply that by the rent, and that's an awful lot of money that the landlords are walking away from. And compared to 6 months' rent, you know, 6 months is a tiny proportion of that.
Andrew Teacher from the British Property Federation, thank you very much for coming in.